Morning begins on the cold Norwegian Sea. Today, the ship heads out for a catch of...
Before welcoming the Norwegian salmon, every surface is cleaned. Every piece of equipment is checked to maintain fresh. Amidst the cold sea, the school of Norwegian salmon is being located.
The time to cast the net has come.
The net begins to open amidst the deep, cold Norwegian Sea. Every operation must be absolutely precise.
The school of Norwegian salmon has entered the correct net zone.
The atmosphere on the ship begins to tense up because every
salmon has appeared. Joy erupts right in the middle of the cold sea.
Norwegian salmon are brought aboard through a fast and clean process. Cold temperatures and clean water help retain the original freshness.
Today's catch of Norwegian salmon is very large.
joy is evident on the deck, but the preservation process continues uninterrupted.
The ship begins to return to port with the newly harvested batch of Norwegian salmon. All data is recorded to maintain the accuracy of the shipment.
The Norwegian salmon have arrived at the dock. From here, the journey transitions into the refrigerated transport phase.
The batch of Norwegian salmon is handed over the moment the ship docks.
The Norwegian salmon continue to be kept cold throughout the journey to the factory. Every movement now is directed towards the next processing stage.
De leder transfer to the processing factory.
Every batch of Norwegian salmon is verified for information before unloading. Data accuracy is the foundation for the entire production line behind.
The Norwegian salmon are unloaded quickly but very carefully.
The first inspections focus on signs of freshness in the Norwegian salmon. From the outer surface, quality is already being assessed.
Core temperature is a critical indicator for fresh Norwegian salmon.
Only when standards are met can the batch proceed into the production line.
Each batch of Norwegian salmon is precisely weighed before entering deep into the workshop. This data will accompany the product throughout the entire production process. Every batch of Norwegian salmon is clearly organized before getting on the line. Tidiness helps the factory maintain a stable production rhythm.
Salmon begin to leave transport bins to enter the factory line. Cold temperatures and clean water continue to be maintained in every movement.
The surface of Norwegian salmon is cold washed right upon entering the workshop. Every cleaning step is aimed at retaining the raw material.
In the Brazilian line, uniformity is very important.
Right from the start, raw materials are separated into groups to match each product line.
Norwegian salmon are grouped by size right after cold washing. This helps make subsequent processing steps more precise and uniform. Even empty bins must go through a strict sanitation process. In a Norwegian salmon factory, after sorting, Norwegian salmon begin to be divided by processing direction. Each product direction will have its own journey inside the factory. The Norwegian salmon prepare to leave the reception area to enter the main pre-processing zone. Here, hygiene standards are elevated yet another level.
The Norwegian salmon have entered the main pre-processing zone. Here, every action will begin transforming.
Every Norwegian salmon is placed in the right orientation before cutting. This uniformity helps the entire line operate faster and more accurately.
The Norwegian salmon enter the very first pre-processing operation. The cut must be clean to retain maximum body meat for processing.
The Norwegian salmon bodies are immediately transferred to the belly slitting table. The fast pace ensures raw material.
The belly slit must be neat enough and precise enough. With Norwegian salmon, accurate handling helps retain beautiful meat for the filleting stage.
The organs of the Norwegian salmon are separated right at the pre-processing station. The neatness at this step largely...
In the Norwegian salmon factory, all parts are very clearly routed. The main body continues to maintain cleanliness to enter food processing.
Norwegian salmon undergo a second cold wash after belly cavity cleaning. Cold water helps the fish bodies become cleaner while maintaining a fresh, firm state.
After washing, Norwegian salmon are re-inspected right on the conveyor. Every small detail is adjusted before moving on.
Minor adjustments make the Norwegian salmon more uniform before the filleting stage. Precision here makes the next step much smoother and more beautiful.
After pre-processing, the Norwegian salmon continue to be spot checked. Each confirmation step helps the post-pre-processing Norwegian salmon are continuously kept cold before filleting. Even though it's just a very short wait, the temperature is always controlled.
In the Norwegian salmon factory, sanitation occurs continuously during the shift. Cleanliness doesn't wait until the end of the day.
The Norwegian salmon pre-processing stage is complete. Ahead lies the filleting step, where the most beautiful meat begins to be separated.
Norwegian salmon enter the filleting stage. From here, the most beautiful meat will gradually be separated from the skeleton.
The first cut opens the path for the fillet. With Norwegian salmon, precision at this step determines the beauty of the final piece of meat.
The first Norwegian salmon fillet gradually appears. Fresh orange meat grains, seamless and very even.
The second fillet is separated immediately after. The Norwegian salmon meat now appears as two distinct fillet strips.
In the province salmon line, meat and bone are routed separately immediately. Table surfaces are constantly cleaned to maintain a steady filleting rhythm.
After separation from the bones, Norwegian salmon fillets are trimmed immediately. The goal is to keep the meat piece neat, straight, and more aesthetically pleasing.
The belly portion of the Norwegian salmon fillet is carefully neatened. This fine-tuning makes the fish piece more uniform as it heads to the next stage.
The Norwegian salmon fillet is shaped to be more uniform. This balance is critical for the premium feel of the product.
Norwegian salmon fillets are manually checked for leftover bones. This is a slower step, but essential for the meat to become clean and complete. After fine-tuning, Norwegian salmon fillets are lightly washed one more time. Meat surfaces become neat and fresher under the cold water.
Not all Norwegian salmon fillets go to the same product direction. Right here, aesthetic quality begins creating different lines. Color and texture are crucial signs of Norwegian salmon fillets.
Those that pass will advance deeper into the finishing line.
The Norwegian salmon fillets have been separated, trimmed, and fully inspected. Now, each fillet group heads to its appropriate finishing stage.
In the Norwegian salmon filleting zone, sanitation always accompanies production. Clean surfaces help maintain
The Norwegian salmon filleting stage is complete.
Norwegian salmon fillets have entered the appearance finishing phase. Here, each piece of fish will...
Norwegian salmon fillets are fed into the skinning machine.
This step requires very precise alignment to preserve the beauty of the meat.
The skin layer of the Norwegian salmon fillet is separated very neatly. The exposed meat becomes noticeably smoother, brighter, and more uniform.
After skinning, Norwegian salmon fillets are re-inspected immediately. Every minor detail is cleaned to keep the product surface perfectly beautiful.
The belly parts of Norwegian salmon fillets continue to be neatened. This very fine-tuning creates clean...
Norwegian salmon fillets are shaped one last time as whole pieces. Small cuts make the product extremely polished.
Norwegian salmon fillets begin to be divided into standard portions. Every piece must be uniform in thickness and beautiful at the cut surface. Every piece of Norwegian salmon is weighed to ensure correct specifications. Weight uniformity is extremely important before packaging.
The Norwegian salmon portions are trimmed once more. Very small details help the products look noticeably more refined.
Not all Norwegian salmon pieces go into the same product line. Right here, aesthetic quality creates different levels for the finished goods.
After finishing, Norwegian salmon continue to have their quality verified. Only trays meeting standards are transferred to the packaging stage.
Before packaging, Norwegian salmon surfaces receive a final light clean. The products move forward in a fresh, clean, and highly stable state.
The different lines of Norwegian salmon have been clearly separated before entering the packaging zone. From here,
After each batch of Norwegian salmon, the finishing zone is cleaned very rapidly.
The appearance finishing stage for Norwegian salmon fillets is done. Ahead is the packaging step, where the
Norwegian salmon have arrived at the packaging zone. From here, the product begins taking the familiar form of finished retail goods.
Every piece of Norwegian salmon is placed into trays in its most beautiful posture. Appearance at this step is critical because it's the first thing customers see. Even the position of Norwegian salmon within trays is carefully adjusted. This small neatness creates a very professional feel for the finished products. Norwegian salmon trays are sealed tightly right after arranging the products. The transparent film keeps products neat and allows inside visuals to show very clearly.
Some lines of Norwegian salmon are sealed tighter for better preservation. The packaging format now becomes very neat and premium.
After sealing tight, every Norwegian salmon tray is re-inspected at its packaging edges.
Every Norwegian salmon tray carries the exact information of its production batch. From this moment, the product has complete tracking identities from the factory.
the packaging for Norwegian salmon now has full retail images and information. From a fish piece in the workshop,
The final inspection step ensures Norwegian salmon trays leave the line in their most perfect state.
Norwegian salmon trays begin being packed into intermediate boxes for transport. Everything must remain very neat to protect the product's appearance.
These boxes of Norwegian salmon now carry complete information to enter the finished goods warehouse. From here, products can be tracked very clearly by batch.
Norwegian salmon leave the packaging zone to enter the finished goods cold storage. Packaging.
In the cold warehouse, Norwegian salmon are arranged precisely by batch codes and production times. Every package has a clear place waiting for shipping day.
The first packages of Norwegian salmon are ready to leave the finished warehouse.
The next journey will be to cold trucks and the distribution network.
Stage for Norwegian salmon is complete. Ahead lies the distribution journey, where products leave the factory to reach retail.
The Norwegian salmon packages have left the finished goods cold storage. Now they begin entering the cold logistics journey to hit the market. Every Norwegian salmon pallet is assigned precisely to its own route. Accuracy at this step helps the entire distribution network run smoothly.
Leaving Norwegian salmon. Compartment temperature is the primary condition for maintaining finished product quality throughout the
Pallets are loaded onto trucks carefully. Packaging appearances must be kept identical.
Salmon are stacked in trucks not just for transport, but to maintain even coldness.
The first batches of Norwegian salmon begin leaving the factory.
The journey now shifts to professional cold transport roads.
Factory, Norwegian salmon continue to have their temperatures monitored throughout the trip. Inside the truck, Norwegian salmon packages are kept stable in an even cold flow. Every detail of loading is performing its function.
The Norwegian salmon batches have reached the cold distribution center. Here, goods will be received, routed, and forwarded to retail points.
Norwegian salmon are unloaded at the distribution center in continuous cold conditions. Every handover step is strictly controlled.
Right at the distribution center, Norwegian salmon begin being redivided into individual customer networks. Every seller will receive
Norwegian salmon from large pallets are split into smaller orders. This step brings products closer to specific retail points.
These Norwegian salmon orders now have very specific destinations. Every group prepares to enter the final leg of the logistics journey.
From distribution centers, Norwegian salmon begin fanning out in many directions. Every cold truck carries a portion of the journey closer to buyers. Norwegian salmon have left the distribution centers to travel to retail points. Ahead are counters, supermarket lights, and
These packages of Norwegian salmon have reached the first retail point of the day.
From the rear receiving zone, products begin entering retail spaces.
Right at the supermarket, the Norwegian salmon batch is re-inspected before entering cool storage. Every box has a clear trace and is fully confirmed.
Norwegian salmon boxes are unloaded very carefully. Right after unloading, goods continue straight into the supermarket's cool environment.
In the retail cool warehouse, Norwegian salmon are organized by order and display time. Every step aims to keep products looking their best when hitting the counters.
Before hitting counters, each Norwegian salmon tray is looked over one more time. The most beautiful trays.
The Norwegian salmon trays are leaving cool storage to go out to display counters. The journey from factory to buyer's eyesight is very close.
Norwegian salmon begin appearing on seafood counters. Under cool lighting, the products show up clearly and are full of appeal.
Norwegian salmon counters don't just need to be full, but also extremely neat and easy to look at. The arrangement helps customers quickly identify each product type.
After a long journey, Norwegian salmon are now present on supermarket counters. Everything is ready for the moment buyers stop and choose a product.
Amidst bright cold cool counters, Norwegian salmon begin catching their first glances. From this moment, products enter direct encounters with buyers.
Customers begin looking closer at each type of Norwegian salmon. Clear displays make choosing much easier and more natural.
The first Norwegian salmon tray is lifted from the counter. That is when the product truly enters the moment of being considered for purchase.
Customers don't just look at the fish pieces, they also look at the Norwegian salmon information on the packaging. Label clarity helps trust levels increase.
Among many Norwegian salmon trays, customers begin picking out the most suitable product. Very minor differences in shape or weight can form decisions.
This is pre-packaged Norwegian salmon, very convenient to take home.
This tray is in a beautiful state and very easy to choose.
The moment the Norwegian salmon tray is placed in the cart is when the purchasing decision is truly finalized.
The Norwegian salmon have now left the cool counters and travel with the customer down supermarket aisles. The product is very close to the moment of leaving the sales point.
The checkout phase begins, and the Norwegian salmon tray passes the scanner as a fully finished good. The commercial journey of the product is almost closed.
Norwegian salmon now sit inside the customer's shopping bag. From the cold sea through factories, cold storage.
After a long journey, Norwegian salmon are now fully present on cool counters. Everything looks clean, bright, and very ready to be chosen.
Every Norwegian salmon tray now carries the full exterior of a finished product. Inside the
A Norwegian salmon tray rests on the counter, complete and clear. That is the endpoint of the production chain and also the starting point of a new meal.
Norwegian salmon now follow the buyer's footsteps away from the counters. The long industrial journey behind has turned into a very everyday item in the customer's hands.
Norwegian salmon have left the supermarket. From this moment, the commercial journey closes to make way for the journey into everyday life. Norwegian salmon have now become a part of daily life. From the Great Sea to the buyer's hands, all stages have linked into a complete path.
Places. From the cold seas of Norway to brightly lit counters, Norwegian salmon have passed through many hands and many cold doors.
Every Norwegian salmon tray on the counter is the endpoint of the whole operating system behind it. This is the final image of the journey. A complete, clean, clear Norwegian salmon tray ready for buyers.
After all processing steps, Norwegian salmon are now expressed very simply. Item name, selling price, and a beautifully
Norwegian salmon have reached the final endpoint of the production and distribution chain. It is no longer
In family spaces, Norwegian salmon trays still fully retain the exterior they had upon leaving factories.
From cold Norwegian seas to everyday kitchens, the product's journey has come full circle. The endpoint always carries traces of the beginning.
The journey of Norwegian salmon has closed, but its origins always lie in this vast cold sea.
A Norwegian salmon tray on supermarket shelves once started from a ship's deck amidst cold seas.
Between the Norwegian Sea and supermarket counters are series of cold, clean, and precise.
The journey of Norwegian salmon does not end at a single tray. It continues repeating every day, from sea.
Lengthen. Norwegian salmon are now a very natural part of modern retail spaces. From a raw material in distant seas, all the steps behind are now seen through a row of very simple Norwegian salmon trays.
The end point of Norwegian salmon isn't the store shelves, but where it enters real life. From there, another new journey will begin.
Great seas, cold factories, supermarket counters, and family kitchens. Those are the four main points on the complete journey of Norwegian salmon. A Norwegian salmon tray rests still before your eyes. That is the most compact image of an entire massive journey.
The production and distribution journey of Norwegian salmon has closed. What remains is the feeling of an operating.
Norwegian salmon have traveled their full journey, from the Great Sea to shelves, then to buyers' hands. Every step links together into a complete story.